The story begins on April 12, 1964. Ed and Lawrence are at the home of a girl named Victoria. Victoria tells them how one day her father told her that there was a shadow in their house, but Victoria didn't listen to her father. Days went by and her father started shouting that there's something in the storeroom. It calls to me. It talks to me. Victoria began to think maybe her father had gone mad. But one day when Victoria returns home, she finds that her father is no longer in this world. He has killed himself. Her father is gone. After that, however, the things that were happening to her father began happening to Victoria. Victoria started hearing voices from the storeroom. It calls out Victoria's name. It talks to her, and forced by desperation, Victoria calls Ed and Lawrence so the two of them can drive this spirit, this shadow, out of the house. Ed and Lawrence both head toward the storeroom. Lawrence is pregnant. Ed tells her to be careful. Lawrence goes down the stairs. She tries to sense where the spirit actually is, and her attention goes to a mirror. She realizes the demonic shadow is inside that mirror. She approaches the mirror and speaks to it. "Who are you? Tell me. I will help you." But the demonic shadow shows Lawrence something so horrifying that Lawrence cries in pain. She screams, "Ed, our baby." Ed is not thinking straight. He takes his wife to the hospital. Even at the hospital, Lawrence is seeing all kinds of things. She can't understand what is happening. After a while, her baby is born, but the doctors inform her that the baby did not survive. Lawrence is crying bitterly. She prays to a higher power, begging, "Please bring my baby back to life." And the amazing thing is, after a while, their baby gets better. Lawrence and Ed are overjoyed. They love their daughter very much. They name her Julie. Time slowly passes, and Julie grows up. But inside, Julie was the same power Lawrence had, the power to see spirits. Julie was just a child. She didn't understand what all this meant, but her mother taught her how to control these things. Time moves on, and now Julie has grown up. It's the year 1986, and the story now takes us to another family. Everyone in this family is very happy today because their daughter Heideder has her confirmation at church. Everyone is celebrating. Heideder completes her confirmation, and they organize a party for her. Her grandfather John has also brought her a gift. Heideder opens the gift, and guess what it is? It's the very same mirror that Lawrence saw in that storeroom back in 1964. Heideder is very happy to see the mirror, but they don't know this is no ordinary mirror. Anyway, the whole family is unaware of the truth, and now Heideder is about to cut the cake. But suddenly, she feels like someone blew out her candle from behind. She thinks her little brother Don did it, but Don denies it. An argument breaks out among them, and right then, the fluorescent light in the house falls onto the table. Everyone is terrified, and Heideder even gets hurt. But this was just the beginning. Before I take the story further, let me tell you this was the scariest and truest incident of 1986. The most horrifying case of Ed and Lawrence's career. The one that changed their entire family. Now, let's return to the story, which once again takes us back to Ed and Lawrence. Ed and Lawrence are telling everyone the story of Annabelle the doll and explaining about it. They're trying to make people understand that the only way to protect yourself from things like this is to lock them away in a room. They keep warning how dangerous these things can become, but people aren't really taking their words seriously. Maybe because Ed and Lawrence have already left their work behind. They're retired now, and all they do is give lectures that nobody seems interested in. Ed doesn't like this, but Lawrence and Julie always reassure him that everything will be fine. That night, the three of them are sitting in a restaurant having dinner. When Julie asks her dad if she can invite her boyfriend Tony to tomorrow's party, Lawrence and Ed agree, and the three of them are happy. But then Lawrence suddenly senses a shadow nearby, and Julie feels it too. Lawrence is strong enough to handle it, but Julie is terrified. Lawrence tries to calm her daughter down, telling her that everything will be okay, but then she notices a hand resting on Julie's shoulder, and even Lawrence is frightened by that sight. Ed asks them what happened, but neither of them tells him anything. The story then takes us back to that same family. Just like every other day, Janet is busy with her chores, washing clothes, but she keeps feeling like someone is standing behind her. She brushes it off, thinking it's just her imagination. She goes back to chatting with her friend, while the kids keep running around the house, playing. Again and again, the kids cross her path, and she warns them not to play in that spot. But just then, someone yanked her phone from behind. She thought maybe the kids were messing around. She She started yelling, telling whoever was in the back room to come out, but no one answered. When she turned on the light in that room, it was empty. But this wasn't something that only happened to Janet. The youngest daughter of the house, Susie, was playing with her doll when she felt like someone was there. When she turned around, she saw an old woman who didn't look human at all. Susie went and told her whole family about it, but no one believed her. And it wasn't just Susie and Janet. Heideter was going through the same thing. She also felt that ever since that mirror came into the house, something strange had been happening. Sister Ton decided to get rid of it. The two of them took the mirror outside, and the next morning the garbage truck hauled it away. Unaware of all this, the rest of the family was sitting peacefully having breakfast. But suddenly, Ton started feeling strange. She began vomiting blood, and inside her vomit were pieces of glass. Haida realized this wasn't just a coincidence. Something more was going on. Meanwhile, unaware of all this, Ed was talking to a doctor, asking if he could return to work or not. The doctor told him that his heart had become very weak and another heart attack would be fatal. Ed understood that maybe it was time for him to retire. That day was Ed's birthday. Everyone was happy, and at Ed's party, Judy brought her boyfriend, Tony. Tony had been a cop, but now he was retired. Why? Tony still hasn't told anyone the real reason. At that party, Tony runs into Ed and Lorraine's old friend, Brad. He asked Brad if it's true that Ed and Lorraine cast out ghosts, and if he's ever seen them do it. Brad tells Tony that it's all real. But why exactly Tony want to know this? Well, let's leave that aside. The story now shifts to Judy. Judy is getting ready in her room when she suddenly senses something there. She looks toward the mirror and sees the Annabelle doll slowly moving closer to her. But before anything can happen, the doll vanishes. Hearing Judy's voice, Tony rushes in. Judy tells him everything, and right after that, Lorraine comes in too. Tony leaves, but Lorraine asks her daughter what happened, and Judy explains everything to her. Lorraine comforts Judy, telling her not to let these things take control over her. Judy agrees, and things seem fine again. Slowly, the party winds down, but Tony still hasn't left. He wants to talk to Lorraine and Ed. He tells them that he wants to marry Judy. Lorraine is delighted with the idea, but Ed is still suspicious of Tony. Before either of them can respond, Judy walks in and Tony proposes to her. Judy accepts, and everyone is overjoyed. The party ends, and Father congratulates Ed and Lorraine before heading out. But before leaving, he tells them about a family that keeps calling him for help, asking if they'll take the case. Lorraine refuses, and the father leaves. The story once again takes us back to Jack and his family. The whole family's worried, not knowing what to do. Jack and his daughter are terrified, but Jack is trying his best to reassure everyone. That night, Jack tries to sleep, but suddenly he sees the shadow again, and then his body starts floating in the air. He can't even move. Meanwhile, unaware of all this, Heideter is checking the video recording from the day she cut the cake. She's trying to find out who actually blew out the candles. But when she watches the recording, a shadow appears in it, and then that shadow comes straight toward Heideter. She screams, waking everyone up. Zob sees her husband suspended in the air. Somehow, Jack comes back down, but the whole family is terrified. The next day, the news spreads everywhere. Reporters flood their home. Some people believe them, while others don't. Meanwhile, completely unaware of this, Lawrence takes her daughter Judy to pick out her wedding dress. Judy tries on her gown, but then she feels a strange presence inside the fitting room. At first, she brushes it off as her imagination, but slowly, the shadow comes closer and grabs her throat. She screams. Lawrence rushes in and instantly realizes her daughter is in danger. But where did this danger come from? The story takes us back again to Jack's house. Now, Father Gordon has arrived to see whether there's truly a shadow haunting them or not. He inspects the house and becomes convinced not one but several demonic shadows are there. He rushes to the church, hoping to convince them and get help for the family. But will he succeed? Let's find out. A little later, Father Gordon senses that a shadow is following him. The phone in that room starts ringing. ring. When Father answers it, a woman's voice comes through saying, "Your time is up." Before Father can even understand what's happening, all the doors slam shut, and a dark shadow tortures him to death. News of Father Gordon's death spreads quickly. He had been very close to Ed, Lorraine, and Judy. The three of them attend his funeral, but near the coffin, Judy starts to sense something. There they meet Father Singler, and Judy asks him where exactly Father Gordon died. Father tells them it happened in Pennsylvania.